You may think all vegetables are healthy, especially for seniors. But what if I told you that some vegetables, while rich in nutrients, may actually worsen joint pain in older adults? Surprising, right? While no food directly causes rheumatoid arthritis, certain vegetables contain compounds that may increase inflammation or trigger symptoms in sensitive individuals. Many seniors eat these daily, not realizing the potential impact on their aching joints. If your knees, fingers, or hips have been flaring up, your salad bowl might be part of the problem. If you care about your health after 60, this is a video you'll want to watch till the end. Rheumatoid arthritis is not just a matter of aging bones. It's an autoimmune condition that affects nearly 1 in 20 seniors. While medications and physical therapy help manage symptoms, lifestyle and diet play a significant role in daily flare-ups. For older adults, understanding what foods may trigger inflammation can mean the difference between a comfortable morning walk and a painful day in bed. Some vegetables, especially those in the nightshade family, contain substances that may worsen inflammation in certain people. Knowing which ones to limit or monitor can empower seniors to make better dietary choices without giving up on nutrition. This common vegetable may inflame your joints without you knowing it. Eggplant is a staple in many healthy recipes, praised for being low in calories and rich in antioxidants. But for seniors struggling with rheumatoid arthritis or chronic joint pain, eggplant may not be as innocent as it seems. Belonging to the nightshade family, alongside tomatoes, potatoes, and peppers, eggplants contain a natural compound called solanine. This chemical is part of the plant's defense system against pests. However, in some sensitive individuals, solanine may aggravate inflammation or muscle stiffness. Research on solanine's effect in humans is limited and mixed, but anecdotal reports from arthritis patients have long suggested a connection between nightshade vegetables and joint flare-ups. While not everyone reacts the same, some seniors notice more pain and swelling after eating eggplant dishes regularly. What makes eggplant particularly tricky is its versatility. It appears in Mediterranean, Asian, and vegetarian diets, grilled, baked, fried, or in stews. Seniors aiming to reduce inflammation may want to keep a food journal, track when joint pain increases and what was eaten the day before. If eggplant appears repeatedly before a flare-up, it may be worth limiting or eliminating for a few weeks to test its effects. To be clear, eggplant is not dangerous for most people. But if you're over 60 and dealing with unexplained joint pain, it's worth exploring whether eggplant is part of the problem. Always consult with a doctor or dietitian before making major dietary changes. Still, paying attention to how your body responds to specific vegetables can be an empowering step toward better mobility and less pain. A healthy-looking fruit that can stir up joint trouble. Tomatoes are often considered a superfood, rich in vitamin C, potassium, and the powerful antioxidant lycopene. They support heart health, skin regeneration, and immune strength. But for some older adults, especially those suffering from rheumatoid arthritis or gout, tomatoes might be a double-edged sword. Like eggplants, tomatoes belong to the nightshade family and contain solanine, a naturally occurring alkaloid that some believe may trigger inflammation in predisposed individuals. In addition to solanine, tomatoes are also acidic, which may irritate the digestive system and indirectly affect inflammatory responses in the body. While research is still inconclusive, some seniors report that after eating tomato-based foods, such as pasta sauce, salsa, or tomato juice, they experience increased stiffness or swelling in their joints the next day. Tomatoes are so common in the modern diet that it's easy to overlook them as a possible contributor to chronic pain. Many seniors trying to eat healthy switch to tomato-heavy dishes, thinking they're doing their bodies a favor. But if arthritis symptoms persist or worsen, it's worth trying a tomato-free diet for a few weeks to observe changes. Again, it's important to emphasize, tomatoes are not inherently harmful. They're nutrient-rich and beneficial for most people. However, inflammation is a highly individual process. What soothes one body might irritate another. Seniors living with chronic joint pain should consider working with a nutritionist to identify their unique dietary triggers, including the surprising possibility that a ripe red tomato may be causing more harm than good. A senior favorite that might secretly be stirring up joint pain. For many seniors, potatoes are a comfort food staple, mashed, baked, or boiled. They're affordable, filling, and easy to digest. But beneath their humble surface, potatoes carry a risk for those dealing with rheumatoid arthritis or chronic joint inflammation. As part of the nightshade family, potatoes also contain solanine, the compound that's been associated with increased sensitivity in some individuals with joint issues. Unlike leafy greens or cruciferous vegetables, potatoes offer limited anti-inflammatory benefits. They are high in starch, which breaks down into sugar and may contribute to systemic inflammation, especially when consumed in excess or in processed forms like French fries or chips. The problem becomes compounded for seniors who rely heavily on potatoes as a side dish with every meal. What's more, green or sprouting potatoes can contain especially high levels of solanine, making them more likely to trigger adverse responses. Though solanine poisoning from potatoes is rare, small amounts may still irritate sensitive joints in those already struggling with inflammation. Some seniors report noticing improvements in mobility and a decrease in morning stiffness after reducing or eliminating potatoes from their diet. As always, dietary triggers vary, and not everyone reacts the same way. But for those exploring possible causes of persistent joint pain, limiting white potatoes for a few weeks may be a worthwhile experiment. Alternative options like sweet potatoes or cauliflower mash can offer similar textures with potentially fewer inflammatory consequences. These swaps may not only ease joint discomfort but also improve overall blood sugar and digestion. Bright on the plate, but possibly harsh on your joints. Bell peppers, chili peppers, and even sweet varieties are celebrated for their vibrant colors and impressive vitamin C content. They're commonly seen as super vegetables, thanks to their antioxidant-rich profile. But for some seniors, especially those dealing with rheumatoid arthritis or joint sensitivity, peppers can be a hidden irritant. Once again, they belong to the nightshade family, which contains solanine and capsaicin, two compounds that, while beneficial in some contexts, may exacerbate inflammation in others. Capsaicin, the substance that gives chili peppers their heat, is often used topically in arthritis creams to relieve pain. But when consumed, particularly in larger amounts, it may have the opposite effect, potentially irritating the digestive system and contributing to systemic inflammation in sensitive individuals. Even sweet bell peppers, which are milder and often consumed raw in salads, still contain trace amounts of solanine. Some studies suggest that people with autoimmune diseases may be more reactive to certain food compounds. Seniors who consume peppers regularly and notice recurring flare-ups or joint stiffness may benefit from a short-term elimination test, cutting out all forms of peppers for 3 to 4 weeks and monitoring how the body responds. It's worth noting that not all inflammation is immediately noticeable. Some seniors may feel fine right after eating peppers but experience swelling or reduced mobility the next morning. This delay makes food-related triggers harder to identify without keeping a careful diary. While colorful vegetables usually signal health, peppers may be an exception for individuals with arthritis. If you're unsure, consult a registered dietitian before making big dietary changes. But remember, sometimes eating healthy isn't just about adding good foods, it's also about removing the ones that don't work for your body. A leafy green with unexpected risks for joint health. Spinach is often hailed as a nutritional powerhouse, packed with iron, magnesium, fiber, and a host of essential vitamins. It's a favorite in senior diets due to its low-calorie profile and heart-supporting benefits. But there's a side of spinach that many don't consider: its high oxalate content. Oxalates are natural compounds found in certain plants that may contribute to the formation of crystals in the body, specifically uric acid crystals that can worsen conditions like gout. While gout is different from rheumatoid arthritis, both involve painful joint inflammation. For seniors with either condition, consuming high oxalate vegetables like spinach may aggravate joint stiffness or trigger flare-ups. Oxalates can interfere with calcium absorption and potentially accumulate in tissues, leading to discomfort in sensitive joints. Another issue lies in quantity. Many health-conscious seniors, aiming to boost iron or fiber intake, consume large amounts of spinach, raw in salads, blended in smoothies, or cooked in soups. Unfortunately, excess intake of oxalates over time can pose a risk, especially for those with pre-existing kidney or joint conditions. Importantly, not everyone with arthritis will react negatively to spinach. But for individuals managing inflammation and seeking to pinpoint dietary contributors, it's worth observing whether reducing spinach leads to noticeable improvements. A food diary can help connect dots that aren't immediately obvious. Safer alternatives include kale or arugula, which offer similar benefits but with lower oxalate levels. These swaps allow seniors to maintain a leafy green-rich diet without risking an inflammatory setback, a starchy vegetable that may be quietly fueling joint inflammation. Corn is often considered a vegetable, though botanically it's a grain. It's a familiar presence on dinner tables, boiled, grilled, or blended into soups. For seniors, corn feels like a safe choice. It's gluten-free, naturally sweet, and easy to chew. But when it comes to inflammation and joint health, corn might not be as harmless as it seems. One of the biggest concerns with corn is its omega-6 fatty acid content. While omega-6 is essential in moderation, the modern diet often includes it in excess, especially from processed corn-based foods like corn oil, corn flakes, and corn syrup. An imbalance between omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids may promote systemic inflammation, a known contributor to joint discomfort and arthritis symptoms. Additionally, corn is high in starch and sugar, which may spike blood sugar and trigger inflammatory responses, particularly in people with metabolic issues or insulin resistance, a common condition among seniors. Over time, these spikes can increase oxidative stress and exacerbate joint swelling or stiffness. Another layer of concern lies in the fact that much of the corn consumed today is genetically modified, GMO, often treated with herbicides that may leave trace residues. While research is still ongoing, some experts suggest that sensitive individuals might react to these compounds with low-grade inflammation. It's also important to differentiate between whole corn and highly processed corn products. A small ear of fresh corn likely won't cause harm for most people. But regular consumption of processed corn snacks, syrup-sweetened drinks, or fried corn-based chips may quietly worsen inflammation. If you're over 60 and noticing persistent joint pain, try cutting back on corn for a month, especially in its processed forms, and observe any changes in how your joints feel. Balance is key, and with so many other fiber-rich, low-inflammatory vegetables available, corn doesn't need to be the default. Nutritious but oxalate-rich, these leaves may burden your joints. Beet greens, the leafy tops of beets, are often overlooked, yet they're loaded with vitamin K, calcium, iron, and antioxidants. For seniors trying to boost bone health and immunity, beet greens might seem like an ideal addition to the plate. But here's the lesser-known fact: they are one of the highest plant sources of oxalates, which may be problematic for people with arthritis, particularly gout or kidney-related joint pain. Just like spinach, beet greens can contribute to calcium oxalate buildup, which may crystallize in joints or kidneys, especially in sensitive individuals. These tiny crystals can irritate tissue and lead to pain, swelling, or reduced mobility. For those who already experience joint discomfort, regular consumption of beet greens could be adding to the problem without them realizing it. Beet greens are also relatively bitter, so many seniors cook them heavily or combine them with other rich ingredients like cheese or vinegar, which can alter their nutritional effect or increase acidity, both of which may further irritate inflammatory pathways. What's tricky is that many health websites list beet greens as superfoods, encouraging daily inclusion. But for older adults managing inflammation or kidney function, moderation is key. Instead of cutting them out entirely, seniors may consider eating them less frequently, rotating with lower oxalate greens like romaine or bok choy. As always, dietary effects are personal. Some seniors may tolerate beet greens with no issues, while others might find that avoiding them leads to a noticeable improvement in joint function. Consulting a healthcare provider or dietitian can help identify whether this nutrient-dense green is a helper or a hidden culprit in your arthritis journey. Managing arthritis through food doesn't mean avoiding all your favorite vegetables. It means listening to your body and making thoughtful, sustainable adjustments. Here are some tips for seniors who want to reduce joint pain without compromising nutrition. Start a food diary. Track what you eat and how your joints feel afterward. This simple habit can help identify patterns and personal triggers that may not be obvious otherwise. Practice elimination and reintroduction. If you suspect certain vegetables may be causing flare-ups, eliminate them for 2 to 3 weeks. Then reintroduce one at a time and observe any reactions. This controlled method offers clearer insights than guessing. Swap instead of remove. Replace high oxalate or nightshade vegetables with gentler options. Try substituting spinach with kale, potatoes with mashed cauliflower, and tomatoes with roasted carrots or squash. Cook vegetables gently. Steaming or roasting can reduce certain compounds, like solanine or oxalates, while preserving nutrients. Avoid deep frying or overcooking, which can destroy beneficial elements. Stay hydrated and mind gut health. Inflammation doesn't only come from food triggers, it's also affected by gut balance. Drinking plenty of water and eating fiber-rich vegetables, like zucchini or celery, can support digestion and help reduce inflammatory responses. Work with a nutritionist. Every senior's body is different. If joint pain is persistent, consulting a dietitian can provide a tailored plan that fits your medical history, taste preferences, and nutritional needs. Remember, the goal is not to restrict, but to refine. A thoughtful diet can be one of the gentlest, yet most powerful tools for long-term joint health. If today's video helped you see vegetables in a new light, don't keep it to yourself. Share this with a friend or loved one who's also managing arthritis or joint discomfort. Sometimes, the smallest dietary changes can bring the biggest relief. Have you noticed any vegetables that seem to trigger your joint pain? Or do you feel better after removing certain foods? Tell us your story in the comments. We read every one. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We release new health insights every week, gentle, practical, and made especially for life after 60.